The quadruple amputee accused in a fatal shooting was seen in a video doing a headstand against the wall, snorting cocaine, and firing a semi-automatic rifle. When asked why he did it, he said, "Because I can't play tennis."
It's true.
I know. According to new data, America's teen birth rate fell to a record low last year, and nobody's more relieved than me and my girlfriend. A New York pet company is willing to pay up to $1,000 an hour for someone willing to sniff dog breath. The title is Joy Behar's assistant. Nice. I'm wearing you down. Detroit is offering up to $15,000 for people to move there, which will more than cover funeral costs. Starting in December, eligible men aged 18 to 25 will automatically be registered for the draft. As for women aged 18 to 25, they should come over later. Fox and Friends will be giving away an RV to one lucky viewer for America's 250th birthday. This will also mark the first time a Fox and Friends viewer will be called lucky. An upstate New York woman is gaining viral fame by showing off her one-eyed beaver. And get this, she also has a pet. Oh. Two women in Mexico were filmed fighting over a coffin after reportedly learning that they both dated the deceased man. Well, that reminds me, my estate better make sure that the Jonas Brothers are banned from my funeral. They can't sue me. And finally, there's a new trend of people trying to get rid of their hemorrhoids by putting sugar on them. It sounds disgusting, but not to men who have a sweet tooth. All right. All right. So a movie called Project Hail Mary came out last month, and unlike all the other crap coming out of Hollywood, it's managed to make money, something like $500 million. That's more than they spend in a year on frozen feeding mice at The View. The guy who wrote it is named Andy Weir, and it's a big-budget adventure, full special effects, and it's led by an A-list star. If you haven't seen it yet, here's a clip. Now you understand why audiences are loving it. Anyway, one of the reasons the movie's already grossed nearly $500 million worldwide is because it doesn't shove politics down your throat. In fact, it avoids politics like Larry Kudlow avoids pillow talk. In a recent interview, Weir explained why he always does this.
If you're faithful to the source material and you don't insult the intelligence of your audience and give them something really interesting to grapple with, and, you know, dare I say it, don't try and shove like crappy identity politics into it, you end up with a damn good movie at the end of it that people just want to watch. And
I think you and me are kind of on the same wavelength there when it comes to fiction writing. I never put any politics or messaging in any of my stories at all. There's no, there's no deeper meaning. There isn't even any symbolism. My book, even non-political, there's just no symbolism at all. My books are always just purely to entertain.
Imagine that, a writer who wants to entertain, which in Hollywood is as rare as an actress who hasn't banged Steve Buscemi. Lady killer. But he's on to something, and he's showing why his less successful competition lose more money than a tanning salon in the Sahara. When audiences see politics worm its way into a work of fiction, then we think the whole thing is tainted. It's like when someone puts truffle oil on fries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Suddenly, each fry reminds me of that dirty sock stuffed in my mouth when I woke up in the trunk of Trace Gallagher's car. It's because when we identify a bias, suddenly we can't trust the story that it came in. It's like when a coworker brings in homemade brownies, but you can't get it out of your head that months ago you saw her pick a giant booger out of her nose. You can't lose the connection between the snot and the snack she's made. By the way, thank you for the brownies, Emily. So,
I did not do that.
that made my week. But that's what politics does to fiction. Once it's there, it's everywhere, and it makes you wonder what kind of viewer actually wants people's political biases in the stuff they watch. My guess, that person doesn't exist. No one reads Lord of the Rings hoping the Hobbit's hairy feet, was a lesbian reference. Which means the politics is there to please liberal critics and Hollywood gatekeepers, a price of doing business among a swarm of arrogant virtue signalers. And audiences can feel it. They know something's off. And that's why weird stuff works. He's not trying to win an argument. He's trying to tell an entertaining story. What a concept. And it's one Hollywood should adopt since their industry is dying like a boner when this shows up. I know. So give the culture wars a rest for 90 minutes. Once you jam politics into fiction, you turn the story into another delivery system for lectures. It's like if James Bond suddenly came out as trans, or Darth Vader said, "Luke, I'm your mother now." Fact is, we don't need a gay version of Star Trek any more than we need a straight version of CNN. Let's welcome tonight's guest! Whenever he shops for pants, he always gets them half off. Fox News contributor Johnny Joey Jones. Believe it or not, he actually looked worse with hair. Host of Jim Norton Can't Save You, comedian Jim Norton. He likes his asses round, but his earth flat. YouTube host Hotep Jesus. As a former Oakland Raiders cheerleader, she's as comfortable doing a cartwheel as dodging bullets. Co-host of Outnumbered, Emily Campagno. Joey, what do you do when you're watching something and all of a sudden you get this like a gob of politics just spat in your face? It's like I can't handle it. I have to leave.
Yeah, it's like when I have to turn Gutfeld off every now and then. It's like the jokes were just rolling, and then somebody brings up politics, and it just pisses me off. No, with these movies, now you know it before you get there, right? Because now everybody's aware. It used to be like we look back at movies and say, oh, there's some politics there, there's some meaning there. You even mentioned, Lord of the Rings, and there's some like bigger ideas of religion and things like that in there, but it doesn't matter. It's a great story. When you start seeing these, cookie cutter Disney movies pump out, and it's just about social engineering, it's just about, what is a method we can use to get this message out there, it's not entertaining. I will say there is something to be said, though, that like the biggest movie so far is a movie about getting the off this planet. Like that's where we are. Like, hey, we can get off here. We can leave this behind. We'll take it. Let's go watch that.
Jim, you are an avid film buff.
Thank you, Greg.
Yes. I believe people don't know this, but you once lived with Gene Siskel for quite a while.
Yes, I did.
Yes. How did that go?
It was really good, but then I began an affair with Roger Ebert, and it got very ugly, and I got 2 thumbs in.
I knew it. Do you think Hollywood's going to take the hint?
No, because people don't like political messages that they disagree with. Nobody minds being messaged when they agree with the message. So people love to have what they think to be confirmed by a movie. And it's boring the way they do it. That's why this movie is doing well, because the way they do it now, it used to be like a movie would make you think, like you'd drive home and you'd think, like, what was this trying to tell me? Or it was interesting. But now it's just weak writing, so they bombard you with the message, like, because they want to be in the writer's room and go, huh?
Yeah.
And it's very, very boring. Like,
Yeah.
I learned to love camping. I watched Brokeback Mountain, and the message was, camping is fun.
Yes. I also learned that when people die, you can get their clothes. Remember at the end?
Yeah.
You got the guy's shirt.
I learned that from a Ted Bundy movie.
Underrated actor, that Ted Bundy.
He really was. And a great lawyer.
Yeah. Never nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, Godspeed, Ted. Godspeed.
All right, Hotep, what struck you about this topic?
Well, I actually, when I watch movies, I actually look for the politics in them. Like, I'm expecting the politics to be there, and I kind of want to watch it, study it, and say, okay, what are they trying to project? And, like, what are they trying to bring about in the future and all that stuff, you know? So last year I produced a film. It's called Walking the Cold Line. And a friend asked me, and he said, you know, are you going to put politics in there? Because they're a big politics buff. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Because art implicitly exposes your culture and your politics. It'll naturally come out. When you force it, it becomes unnatural and weak.
Yes.
And people are turning on the TV to escape politics, to escape real life. So when you like force that stuff in there, you're just killing your own viewership.
Yeah.
So it's highly not recommended.
Excellent point. You know, Emily, you know what? I'm weak in the sense that if an actor or an actress outside the movie has a political opinion, it informs the way I look at the movie. It's like, you know what? Reacher. I used to love Reacher, and then I saw him in an interview talking like crazy talk about Trump. And it's not like you have to like Trump, but it was crazy talk. And now I see that when I watch Reacher. And it's my fault. It's not really his.
Well, oh no, because I thought he was the awesome guy that beat his neighbor's ass for being an idiot. So I thought we loved him, but I didn't see that interview about Trump. That makes me sad. I agree. I think up until recently, a political viewpoint wasn't so catastrophic.
Yes.
But now, anyone who has TDS or the amount that they talk about things, you're right, it is a massive turnoff. It's no longer something like, I believe in peace. It is so much more detrimental. And it also shows, I think, because everyone with TDS shows how thin their patriotism is, how slight their tolerance is for the other viewpoint. These are the people that absolutely, what's it called, when you excommunicate anyone from Hollywood that dared to support the president. I'll say this, I think viewers, you know, we want good versus evil, right? And not to oversimplify, because I agree with the sentiment that, look, I didn't insult the intelligence of my watchers. I think that's part of the thing that's baked into these political MSIWGQ is because they're like, oh, take it from me, and you're not smart enough to think for yourself or to know the truth. And at the end of the day, we just want to be entertained. You're absolutely right. For example, last night when I was at my Stitch group, we just sit around and needlepoint. I know.
You really do that?
Yes, it was amazing. It was the best night of my life. But here's the thing, everybody.
I don't think I want to be around you while you're holding a really sharp object.
Oh, it was fantastic. But all we talked about books, we talked about shows, we talked about no movies, and everything was exactly what you would expect when you're not offending someone. But it was real. It was books about good versus evil. It wasn't books about your mom turning into a dad.
This seems really weird.
No, it was awesome. I'm just trying to say
it's like a book club and it's needlepoint?
No, I'm just saying what we chose to talk about. We were like, oh my gosh, have you seen, Love Island? Have you seen
What are you guys
whatever?
wearing?
I was wearing jeans and a tank top.
Jeans and a tank top?
I know. Some of the girls were
Is it like a half top?
It's not a strip club. It's stitching together. Anyway, but the point is that Americans, when we pay $35 and $15 for popcorn and you want to take your children to a movie, you want to be entertained, you want to be stimulated and challenged, and yes, give me 2 hours of Ryan Gosling, but do not give me your alphabet Q plus a political message rammed down my throat. We are too smart for that.
All right. Emily has a little knitting circle. How wholesome is that, huh, Jim?
I like it.
Yeah, quite different from the circle you do.
Come on, Greg. You forgot the crackers last time.
Up next.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.